afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's refreshed after a good lunch. Thank you to the panelists for joining us today. And we're here today to talk about, of course, how retail is evolving and with customer preferences changing, what are the reinventions happening in retail and how new things are being adapted in the industry. So I'll dive straight into my first question, which is, how have evolving consumer preferences shaped your brand's product, offerings, and retail strategies? So I'll start with you, Vikita.
Hello. Yeah. So just a brief introduction. I'm Vikita Chaudhary. I head marketing for Mad Over Donuts. Circling back to your question, I think it's all about what the trend is. I think today social media is giving us all the clues of what product to launch. To say the least, just recently we launched Dubai Viral Chocolate only because it was so much trending that we had to do something that is the customers were asking for. So for us, that is constantly innovation. We believe in surprise and delight. We keep bringing up, campaigns, innovations in packaging and stuff like that, which will make customers want to come back to MOD for beyond donuts. I think that's where we lie on. Just recently, we had a Women's Day campaign where we were giving discounts equal to their age. So we had a 101-year-old granny coming down to our Colaba store. I think such experiences is what the customers want, and we want to keep delighting them by such big and small campaigns. Yeah. No, luckily no money was given, but yeah, the donuts were for free.
Fantastic. Harsh, would you like to add?
Hello. Oh, that'll help. Hi, I'm Harsh. I head the e-commerce business for True Elements. Coming to your question, how True Elements essentially looks at the evolving needs of consumers is very similar to how you look at trends coming out of word clouds, coming out of comments, reviews, and consumer engagement. One of the examples that happened with us was about 6 months ago or 8 months ago, where we just spoke to about 20, 25, 30 odd consumers who were our regular purchasers of seeds. We didn't understand the fact that why are you buying 6 seeds or 5 seeds separately rather than the mix that I have already existing. And the statement which came out was around the fact that our nutritionist has suggested to deal with PCOS. Now, that was an interesting fact for us that, okay, there's a seed cycling which is going on in order to address this problem. So we go use case basis. That is one of the things that we do. Over the last 1 year, I've been with the company for the last 2 years. In the last 1 year, we have done about, I don't know, maybe 80, 100 odd experiments on launching new products and seeing which works. It's more to do with what the category manager is looking for, what the new terms are coming out, and we test and learn. So that's how we approach this whole problem. And we continue to see this as a winning chassis for even 25 and 26. So we are looking at some trends and we'll see how it works.
Great. Amit, would you want to?
So, so from I would say from digital perspective, let's look at some of the changes that we have seen over the last 6 years. Is that a new brand would come in offline first, which has increasingly changed to digital first now. So a brand comes and they're completely digital, and then they think of going offline. Previously, it was opposite. So one of the thing is that means there is a synchronization needed between offline and online for most of the brands, because the customer journeys are happening across various space: social media, digital, website, offline, etc., etc. So how to bring that together, how to learn all of that, and see where we can give a seamless experience, and then data is feeding back and forth. So there are examples where some of the brands are learning what is happening offline and applying it online, and then some are learning online then applying it offline. So all of those aspects are going on, and of course AI is helping with all those experiences. So yeah.
Great. Pallavi.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is post-lunch, so to make it worth your while. since we've spoken about live examples of what happens in the space of product and services, I'll probably take a step back and talk about at a strategic level, how do we sort of deal with the changing consumer expectations. So it's a realization which experience brings to the fore. When you're taught in B schools, it's said that exceed customer expectations, but there is no exceeding. Exceeding never happens. I think what we end up doing technically as marketeers is optimizing that expectation. What is the best you can dole out, keeping in mind the constraints within which you have to work? Because as you become a bigger brand, the customer base widens, the customer base expands, there's more diversity, there's more, and incidentally, fitness, but I cater to fashion and I cater to multiple other categories like, consumables and wearable fashion and accessories. Bringing about change when you're a broader based brand, keeping in mind the diversity, the different wants, the needs, the desires which are piling up with the changing world is kind of tricky at a bigger base. So we start optimizing, and when we kind of look back saying, what does this customer really expect or need to feel happy? The two factors which kind of come to the fore broadly. I think one, the customer looks at the highest level of customization we can provide to them. So that doesn't mean that I can write the name and give the jersey to the customer. That's not possible because we're not one-on-one AI-driven customized brand. That's a different business altogether. But what is that hyper level of customization that I can offer to a customer? That happens through targeted marketing, going like very sort of focused on the needs and building your use cases and then talking to those customers or those cohorts. The other thing that the customers look out for is a sense of reliability. I mean, we are the customers. Who are we fooling? We all get disgruntled when you've paid something and you want to return it and you don't get an easy response and money is not coming back. It's just solving for all those things. So I think reliability is something that we kind of constantly work on, saying how can we become a brand which is faster in terms of response time, which can, trends and all get incorporated in the design, and there's nothing I can do honestly to kind of change that cycle, saying the product will drop every 2 weeks or 3 weeks or in a month's time, and there's very little I can do to change the supply chain or the availability of that product part in our scheme of things. But then at a macro level, it's reliability that we build on, and it's the customization element that we build on through communication. So this kind of helps us optimize the expectations which our customers have from us. And I think that kind of gives us a better customer happiness quotient today.
Great, great, thanks. Let's move on to our next very important part, which is the digital transformation that's happening now. So how do you integrate that? What role does technology play in your brand to give the maximum customer experience and from discovery to purchase? So anyone who wants to take it up first?
So essentially at True Elements right now, I'm looking at my entire funnel approach. And as a team, what we are looking for is what are the user-consumer journeys that they are going through, and how can I touch upon them on a regular basis, right? So starting with top, middle, and bottom, and using tech stacks like GoQuick and Telefins and multiple other resources which are available in the market. How do I ensure that I reach out to them? But apart from just reaching out to the fact is, what am I giving them on the table, right? So what are my comms going through like? What are the call-outs that I'm giving out? What are the kind of reminders that I'm going through? So at True Elements, the whole approach is not only to just ensure that we are just following tech. Apart from that, there's a regular connectivity that we have with our own end consumers, the loyal people. And essentially, there's like a whole team which has been sitting behind this to execute this piece. That is what has led to almost a retention of about 40-45% between different channels that we have been observing so far. And the aim is to just keep increasing that percentage as we move ahead.
I think technology for us, we are trying to see at every customer touch point, how can technology enhance the customer experience? So be it customer going at the pause, and if my CSA over there comes to know that he has eaten double trouble 5 times, the CSA can tell what would you like to have with the double trouble. I think that CRM tool that we have today is making us serve the customers better. From there to then sending a WhatsApp to him, knowing that, okay, he has not come to me from past maybe 5 months, why don't I give him something that he always come, be a coffee for that matter being. I think technology at every customer touch point is very critical. Of late, currently we have also done something called as AR, augmented realities on our boxes, which was first of its kind for any QSR industry, where people could scan the box and they could play a gamification and they could make their own donuts. So it was something very unexpected, but I think that helped us garner customer data, which we were not getting from the delivery partners. So we try to do a lot of technology innovations and adaptations so that every customer touchpoint is evaluated and enhanced. So yeah, that's about it from my side.
Yeah, so I have a perspective which is coming from, first of all, let's look at what's happening with the data privacy. Almost all D2C brands digitally, from a digital transformation perspective, there is no data privacy, absolutely not. You just mentioned go quick, right? So I go to a website and all my data is there. My data is there, my wife data is there, with respect to their mobile numbers, credit card, everything is there. Now, whether you accept it or not, but some level of technology upgrade has to happen where you are able to run your shop, your business, without having no dependency on such tools. And that would require some good digital transformation, better understanding using regression-based algorithms to predict who that customer could be based on their behavior, because you're not allowed anymore to get into that data. So when that would happen, because it can happen at any point in time, that all this, I think, well, let me put it this way. All these tools currently are definitely helping the business, right? Because there is a cost to how a customer is acquired. If currently the brands are acquiring the customer just because I've visited their website, that is definitely lowering the cost, right? I've seen it. So if that doesn't happen, what it would take to do that sales? What we would require to still continue and find that customer and its behavior? So AI, I think, is going to be that solution piece, but I've not seen that much going around there. So I think it's the brands who would take that first leap, who would say, okay, I will be the industry leader and will not use data privacy, but I will do some research and get around that. So I think
that was in fact my next question about the personalization and data, and how do brands now leverage consumer data to offer personalized shopping
they're
experiences?
already leveraging, yeah,
And try-
good enough, yeah.
Yeah. So Pallavi, would you like to?
Regarding the digital transformation question, I mean, well, I've been a digital first brand for 10 years now. My entire playing field was digital. So anything and everything that it takes to sort of lift the brand, to establish the brand, to sell the brand, to grow the brand was always done digitally. They've gone through successive phases of transformation. But I think now we've reached a stage, and I'm not talking about the consumer-facing aspect of things, and let me kind of delve into the back end, saying how are we leveraging the technology and to some extent the use of AI and how it's kind of coming handy. Since it's manufactured at Myntra, we have some sort of control over the manufacturing and the design aspect of things. We started using machine learning, which I think is a beautiful, beautiful way of mapping trends, minimizing your gestation period for a collection to go live. Also understanding the characteristics of your customers and the data analytics, the insights that they give you into their buying behavior, purchase behavior, their needs. So all of that put together, I think our collection started evolving, and then you start seeing the higher sell-through. So basically, the matrix that get impacted is at a very macro level versus just sort of looking at conversions and marketing matrices. Digitally, I think we moved, in terms of the consumer marketing piece, I think the way we've transformed ourselves now in communication is basically tending a lot towards organic content, creating the UGI, because we realize that whole user-generated internet is working in our favor, because Selu things don't sell anymore. Everybody is calling out content. So I think the drastic transformation in the content strategy, the content play, making it more organic, making it more authentic storytelling, actually working with real people as opposed to paid creators and paid influencers, making them our evangelists, helping them grow with us as our brand. All these things have really worked in our favor at a consumer marketing level. So I guess these two big plays, and the future for us would be to deploy AI in the whole CX journey, because we feel, again, AI at a call center level where you have right now bots, but maybe when you have evolved AI, you can start adding to the revenue very quickly. The upscaling, the increase of AOVs and all of that, the basket size can easily happen with a good AI play, considering we've been a brand which is on the digital platform for very, very long with rich data and rich customer information. So this is the next leg of our digital transformation, which we would like to deploy and then see how can we kind of improve on that aspect.
That's great. Harsh, would you like to talk about how your brand is kind of leveraging consumer data for personalized experiences?
So when it comes to personalization of essentially True Elements as a brand is existing in your next door Kirana store, right? The Kirana store is not doing any personalization. He or she is keeping the collection which most of the consumers are possibly looking for. Where I start looking at personalization is more from a perspective that what are the use cases that the consumers are looking for and how closely I can get or launch products for them, right? PCOS was just one of the examples that we did, right? One of the category managers from one of the quick com channels mentioned to us that staples is increasing, organic staples are increasing, and consumers in 3 locations or 3 geographies right now are looking for certain set of flowers. They pick up during certain events in the calendar year. All I have to do is just plug in the product over there, right? So instead of thinking about the fact that, okay, X consumer at X age group and X location would purchase something like this, I look at it more from a perspective that what are the use cases coming through. Use cases also come through from a perspective that, okay, how did muesli got created, right? The early onset of creation of the product muesli was essentially consumers were picking up oats and putting up fruits, putting up milk, and putting up a few more things, nuts and seeds, right? Okay, instead of adding these 5 steps together, let me just launch a product for you guys. So True Elements was one of the first brands to bring muesli into the country. That's how so products keep getting evolved, right?
Great. So I'll move on to the next question, which is about the sustainability and ethical practices. So what steps are your brands taking to align with sustainable and ethical retail trends? Vikita.
So to talk about it, all our products are FSSAI licensed, whatever products that we have. Data that we take is always the customer is giving to us, because we are not only e-commerce, we also have retail outlets. So I think that becomes very important. So at any point of time, customers are not comfortable sharing their data. We are okay with it. Data privacies are very strict on our website also. So all those things, even the packaging that we are into, it's all graded for the standards that we are supposed to be. So I think from that perspective, the brand is very ethically evolved over a period of time. The products that we use, the ingredient, we don't go for artificial food colors and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, we are very conscious about the TG that we have. It starts from the small kid to an adult, young adult. So I think we want to be at par with the expectations from the brand and the trust that it has built over the last 16 years in the industry.
Okay, great.
I'll just add like a quick one about this, right? Sustainability for at least the brand that I'm currently working for, it's more to do with the fact that how does it get ingrained in the brand's principles, right? One of the most simplest things that we do is, let's say if you purchase a True Elements product, you can return the packaging back to us. We will actually collect your plastic bags, we will send it to an NGO, they will convert it into fuel and they'll use it. So it's more about how the brand is integrating sustainability as a principle rather than, sort of screaming about it. But yeah, that is just one of the things that we do.
Great. Pallavi, would you like to add?
Well, I've studied sustainability very deeply, and it's a massive field. And it'll be unfair to say that I'm ready to change the world and I'm ready to change my brand, but baby steps, one step at a time. Particularly in the world of fitness, it all starts with the fabric we use. Unfortunately, it's not a sustainable fabric. So first thing we were attempting to do is move towards sustainable fabric, which again needs to be sourced from China. The macroeconomic problem is known to everyone in this room. Having said that, it's not an easy thing to do to deploy sustainability at every level of your retail practices or businesses, but we've started small by change of packaging, for example, trying to save electricity at the retail level, making the navigation easier for them. I mean, all these things, like I said, baby steps contribute to the overall larger picture, but sustainability is a very, very, very vast field, which is the reason why even a Zara or an H&M only does a very minute 2-3% of their collection, which is sustainable. But we do aspire to become a sustainable brand because we don't want to contribute to the landfills. We don't want to sell carcinogenic stuff. We want our customers' wellness. So we've started studying it. But I think it'll be a while before we can transform economically so that the customer doesn't feel the brunt of paying a higher price or a price premium. We don't want the customer to pay the premium yet. And hence, I think it's going to be that's going to be rather a longish journey to become fully sustainable, or even 60-80% sustainability as and when we achieve.
Fantastic. I think we have to quickly wrap up. I'll just ask my last question and then we'll wrap up this panel. What key trends do you foresee shaping the future of retail, and how is your brand preparing for them?
So right now, one of the ways that we have been noticing how choice of channels for FMCG products is changing over a period of time, right? We look at it from a perspective, instead of looking at it as GT, MT, e-com, we think about it from a perspective of channel of discovery, channel of penetration, channel of distribution. So depending on where my consumer share of wallet is, I essentially go and address that consumer over there. Over a period of time, I've been in the industry of e-com now for almost 12 years. Starting from a fact that Amazon had entered back in 2013, where marketplace was the only thing where discovery was happening in offline market and purchase was happening online. It has now become the fact that marketplaces have become a port of discovery, and consumers are now purchasing on quick comms or rest of the channels like beauty or pharma channels, right? And we look at it from a perspective that if my consumer is sitting offline, I would try and get as close to him as possible, him or her, and just ensure that availability is the key game over here.
While social media trends will come and go, I think one trend that COVID has got for us is convenience. I think whatever we do going forward, the customers want convenience, and that will set in a lot of trends. So for example, having your own mobile app, even today QSR industries are getting into and their own mobile app, apart from the big giants like McDonald's of the world. So I think that is very important for us to understand whatever we are doing, launching, the convenience has to be the key. Expecting the customer today to get out of his comfort zone, coming to the store, I think that we cannot be rigid about it. We have to understand if he wants convenience, he wants it fast at his doorstep. And now then entire ecosystem has to be built around it for him to get convenience so that he becomes a loyal customer to you.
Right. Great. Fantastic.
Actually, I think it's a difficult question because we have all seen the debate even before Blinkit, the 10-minute deliveries, that it was being who will be interested in 10-minute deliveries and so on. But it completely changed the landscape of groceries today. So it's such a disruptive time that it's very hard to predict. But all of that is data driven, and end of the day, it is about customer experience, their time, right? How quickly they can, make a choice and purchase. They don't want to stand and keep on, going through a line of products. So anything which tends to bring convenience, reduce their time, help them purchase, and of course, AI is at the, background of all of that, what I'm saying, is going to pave the way for innovation. So yeah, this is it.
Pallavi, would you like?
I think it's just a summary of everything that Vikita, Harsh, and everyone's kind of. So basically, quick commerce. Everything is selling on quick commerce, and there's somebody in Bangalore who's launching fashion in 10 minutes. So I don't know how far will this game go, because it's really worrisome when you're out on the road actually battling those guys who are doing the deliveries. They pop out of anywhere, but unfortunately, that's a trend which is propping up, where quick commerce is category agnostic next. Anything and everything is selling on quick commerce. Second, I think, is the use of AI, and I would love to deploy it at the inventorizing level as well, where even AI is using its intelligence for buying, for manufacturing, for kind of tailoring to the needs of the trending fashion, or trending silhouette, or analyzing the sweet spot in pricing, things like that. And the customer today, rightly said, doesn't want to tolerate any pain. So long turnaround times are passé. Everything happens in real time. So how do you kind of make your communication more real time? Because gone are those days when you can say, oh, I'll get back to you in 1 working day or 2 business days. And there's this huge uproar and troll that happens on social media because nobody's willing to wait. So faster and faster turnaround times, quicker commerce, AI, more intelligent buying, more intelligent inventorizing, I guess, and distribution.
So one of the ideas like I would like to give, I mean, it's not there, I've not heard, but there is already smart fridge. And that fridge is soon going to make an order on its own. Looking into your fridge, what it has and what it used to have, it's going to make that order on its own. You're going to put your credit card information in your fridge, and it's going to make an order. So that's very hard to say where we are going.
Great, great. Very nicely put and very, very true. Thank you so much for taking out the time. It was such a wonderful and insightful session. I hope everybody enjoyed. Thank you so much.